What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Look, episode 228 of Big Beard. That's right, I've been doing this for 228 weeks. This is my passion project. If you have been with me all along this whole entire time, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, look, first and foremost, like I say every single show, I'm going to start it off right now. If you are going through some hard times, through some struggles, it doesn't matter what it is. I say it week after week after week because the reason I do that is for some people, it's their first time hearing things. So I want you to know that you're not alone. You are a soldier. You have instilled in you exactly what you need in order to survive and get out of the funk you're in and whatever it is. And if you're not and you're having a great time and you're blessed in all spirits and everything known to man, then good for you. I think that is fantastic. And anybody trying to succeed or progress, I don't even have to know you, and I'm happy for you. If you're fighting addictions, if you're fighting addictions that you don't talk about, whether it be food, whether it be porn, whether it be people, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be whatever, I want you to know that it will get better, and don't you ever give up. Now I'm going to turn right around and get right into this tonight. I'm going to talk about change. Is it good? Well, our first answer is probably going to say yes. And I believe that. Some might say no. For me, I think it depends on the change, the kind of change that you want to do. And you know what? If you can't find the kind of change that you need, then be the change. And I'm serious. I've got a shirt that says, be the change you want to make in the world. And you know, I believe that. I get ridiculed all the time. People tell me I can't shut up. People tell me I'm too fat. People tell me my beard's too long. Or, how do you grow that? How do you do that? And it's all the stuff that doesn't matter. Now, people come and go, and they joke, and that's cool. But there's a few people out there who absolutely hate it when you change. If your change is for the better, you're not worried about nobody else. If you're changing and it's actually detrimental and it wants to bring you down, like the change is not the good change, then you got to do something else. And we keep asking ourselves, is it good? Is this worth it? Yes, it is. For instance, I was talking about addiction. I've suffered with addiction. Yeah, I most certainly have. Did that surprise you? I hope not. I'm transparent and I'm real. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you nothing. Like I tell my kids, I'm not going to tell you nothing that you shouldn't be doing or you can't do. Now, this is all... My passion project involves me talking about everything under the sun, including the sun. And if that's not for you, no matter what I'm talking about, then that's not for you. But for some people out there, they need to hear that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to change and do good. But if your change has brought on animosity, if your change has brought on depression, if your change has brought on bad friendships, then it's time to change that. I'm not going to tell you what to do, folks. I wouldn't dream of telling you what to do, but I can only give you some insight and some, little things that I've experienced. And, I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. For anybody watching this, rolling their eyes or laughing or saying, look at him, good for you. I'm glad you feel good about yourself, poking fun at people. The people that I like the most is when you change and they don't want nothing to do with you because it's for the better and they don't want to be better. Whatever. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not trying to change anything about the world. But I would love to change the way that some people think. Thinking is something that could get us awards, acting on your thoughts, or thinking can sometimes get you in a place where it's hard to be at. Now with me, I said I'm a transparent person, so I'll continue that. I've been addicted to things that probably other people might not. And I've been addicted to things that I know most people have done. I'm not perfect. That's why I do this passion project, in hopes that maybe something that I say can resonate with somebody like it did me. I simply get on here week after week after week, and let me tell you folks why I do that. Because I have changed, and the question, is it good? It is good, but the reason I do it is because I try to give back and reciprocate what people done to me and what made me feel good, but I also try to convey things that nobody ever did to me. I wish somebody would have told me it's okay to be okay. I had to learn the hard way. Now my journey might not be for you, and it may go, oh, you roll your eyes at what I do, or say, haha, that's fine too. I'm not trying to be competitive. Journeys of life are not competitive. We're all arriving at the same destination. And life's not like this. Life is like this. Ups and downs, twists and turns. It's all just like that. I try to get back the way I have changed, and I'm changing. I'm a work in progress. I do it all day, all the time. I say it all the time. I'm a Christian under construction. You're not a Christian, you're not religious. That's fine. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to hate you if you don't. I'm not going to bother you if you don't. But it takes all kind to reach all kind. And when I changed, I dropped friends. I didn't drop them. There were toxic people that just fell off because they're, oh, Big Beard, you're doing better, or you're trying to do this, or you're doing, I can't believe, oh, you're talking, and I would be trying to do good, and they would be like, you're talking smack. You don't really want to do that. And then, what's real funny is you have change where you feel good about yourself. You've reached that goal. You have set that boundary. You have accomplished what you wanted to do in your life. And for me, I'll talk about my experience for just a moment. I get around people that tell me that I'm just too fat, that my family's too fat, that everybody around you is too fat. Let me tell you something. If you're watching or know somebody who's watching that said that to me alone, or anybody, that's a pretty shitty thing to say to people, period. Doesn't matter who you are. You can't think of anything else. I was told by a wise man a long time ago, when they have nothing on you and they can't dig up your past and they will not leave you alone and they have nothing, they start attacking your character. They start talking about you. They start going back to their little childhoodish ways. Now, these people that talk all this nonsense might have set goals for themselves, and they may have very well achieved them. Good for them. The journey's hard for everybody. I said today that it's always darkest before the dawn. If you don't really know what that means, it means you got to go through shit in order to be good, okay? That's what it is. For every good, there's a bad. For every bad, there's a good. You got to take it. You got to have it. That's life. But if you're changing and it's detrimental to your health, because see, sometimes you can change, but you're not realizing that you're messing everybody up around your change instead of staying on planet you. Is it good to change? Yeah. I believe it is. I believe the change is good. Whether it's a journey, it's a goal, whatever you're trying to achieve and whatever you're trying not to do. The addictions is what gets me. That seems to be a lot of people's problem. Whether you're addicted to a candy bar or a Coke or cocaine or liquor. When you change that, I still have a bottle of liquor in my kitchen right now. The day I quit drinking, I still look at it. I've went to it twice in 3 years of not drinking, and I never touched it. Now you might say, oh, wait, Big Beard, you're changing. Yeah. Well, the addiction's still there. The want to is still there. I'm not ready. Maybe that's where you're at today. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you hear what I say and you roll your eyes. Maybe you hear what I say and you go, he's just babbling to the world, the cul-de-sac, to the people on the podcast. He don't know what he's doing. Okay, so move along. Don't waste my time. I'm not wasting yours. I'm trying to tell you things. When you have a change that is positive, and it does something to you here, and you spread that out to people, and those people put you down, you got to stay at the change level, because I've changed. And you need to look up. You need to look and say, listen, I'm not letting them get to me. Now, it's easier said than done. Some people don't have thick skin. I like to say I got thick skin. I mean, look at me. I'm pretty thick. In the proverbial sense, though, folks, for real, having thick skin, I was told, is a rarity. Now, I'm always like, take up for yourself, bully, bash, beat down the criminals, beat down the molesters. Like that, that's what I'll do. I don't beat them down physically, but I'm saying I have no certain things I draw the line out because I have morals, I have principles. And if you're one of those people that are the child molesters, that are the sexual offenders, and it's you that actually did it, you are a piece of shit. I'm not going to get into it, but change. Change. We need to realize that if you're doing better and you're trying to tell people you're doing better and they are dogging you, they are putting you down, you got to change that too. I'm not saying everybody that disagrees with you, you cut off or you don't talk to or you say, ha, ha, ha. You know, I'm not saying that. But if they're toxic, no matter who they are, if they are toxic to your change, change it. Now, all these are my, experience and suggestions, and strongly advise you to do things, but you don't have to do anything I say, and you probably won't. Maybe you just want to hear me, for once, talk. And some of you have dealt with me talking outside of this passion project. There's a lot of people that have heard me talk, and they go, you never shut up, but you're a pleasure to be around. You're not a negative person, but you don't shut up. See, I like when they say that, but it makes me go, if they only knew that I talk more and I get excited more around. If I'm doing that around you and I'm annoying you, first off, I'm sorry. But secondly, and probably more importantly, if me, Big Beard, is just talking and talking and talking and I can't let you get a word in and I'm all excited, I'm probably happy and comfortable with the person or the people I'm around. I was told the other day that you shine in your own element. Meaning if you're not wanting to go somewhere or do something with large crowds, you're not going to do it. But if the crowd is there for you, that's when you open up. That's when you do Big Beard. And that's a true statement. I can talk all this all day. I can talk to the radio stations. I can make these little goofy reels, just to have fun. After all, it's just all for fun, right? But I use this platform, every Friday, for the last 228 weeks of my life to reach anybody. And guess what I've done in 4 years? 2 people. There are probably more that don't want to say anything because I'm not cool, right? I'm not going to put you on blast. I'm not going to say anything. I feel like the people think it's him. We can't talk to him. But if I become global or whatever it may be, I feel like then people go, I knew him. But the thing is, I want people to succeed. I want that change that was in me. I want other people to feel that. Now, you can do what you want. I don't care what people do. I don't worry about other people. I don't worry about my neighbor. Well, in the sense of my neighbors where I'm at. I love my neighbors. I watch out for my neighbors. I look at my neighbors. I talk to my neighbors. I mean, the physical. But neighbors as a whole, like the whole planet, I don't really worry about anybody else. You can't worry about someone else and try yourself. It's hard to be a good person. Let me rephrase that. I just said this to my cousin the other day. It's not hard to be a good person. That part's easy. The hard part, what makes it hard, is people. It's like a test of faith. It's like you get tested every day. Every day we're faced with things. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. It's not easy to survive and go and wake up in a world that you might not want to be in because you're depressed or you're down and out. You have anxiety. You're struggling. You got mental. You need a, it's not easy. There's a friend of mine who every chance he gets, and if you're watching, don't talk because I don't want to tell you who it is. I just feel this part. I'm just saying, respectively, every chance he gets, and there's others, but there's a guy here that I know in my state. Every chance he gets, he wants to sleep because he says he's not ready to go out in the world. I can't hate anybody for saying that because I don't know what it's like to be you or him in this case. But I know enough to say I'm not my place to tell him where to go and how to get there as far as negativity. Why would I look at somebody and do that? I changed. I changed to the point where I'm more talkative, I'm more boisterous, I'm straightforward, and I'm stern. And a lot of the times, speaking your mind and being like this gets misinterpreted for just being a straight-up asshole. Yeah. But I kind of like that. Because at least they got something to talk about now, right? At least the change that I'm doing, I know is good for my family and me. Don't care about what other people think. If I lived on opinions, I'd been dead a long time ago. Believe in yourself. The change that you make, make it a contagious change. Where others see you and want to do that. People right now, this second, this minute, this week, this month, this year, tomorrow, yesterday, 2 days ago, they're going through things that you can't fathom. You probably don't want to walk a mile in other people's shoes because you probably hurt your feet. We live in a world, though, folks, where if you change and it's good, you're shunned. Huh? I feel like we live in a world where cowards are put up here and heroes are down here. That's what I feel like. Because the change that we had in the world, or the world's trying to change, and it ain't the world, it's the people in it, huh? Remember that. That change that we're trying to do, it makes people mad for you to do something right. To see a happy person, it pisses people off. Huh? To see somebody talking sense or get excited like I do, it pisses people off. I don't need them to show me. I can see it with their body language, with their demeanor, the way they act, the way they talk to me. That's fine. But I'm not alone. So many people that happens to, and I think it's bullshit, straight up. Stop treating people the way you do dirt on the ground. Stop treating people the way you do. I can't change the world and everybody in it, but I'm going to try to get somebody else to say, hey, he's right, at least in this point. People are dealing with suicidal thoughts. People are dealing with death. People are dealing, not combined, I'm saying, people are dealing with finances. People are dealing with relationship statuses. People are dealing with marriage, and all negative now. They're dealing with it, or they're going through it. They're dealing with the divorce. That's the relationship thing. Friendships. Because things change. I don't believe in divorce. That's just where I'm from. I just don't. I'm old-fashioned. However, that doesn't mean that you can't or other people can't. Because they change. Huh? You might change one day and say, hey, this is not working. I want to do better and you don't, or you want to do better and I don't, and we can't grow together, and it's not going to happen. Now, I don't know everybody's relationship or marital problems. That's not for me to say. My wife and I have an understanding. I want to do this world with you, or I don't want to do it. I have kids. I have you. I have this family, which is more important than you'll ever think. We're a lot tighter. And my family, we speak. Doesn't mean we're special. Doesn't mean we're better than anybody. We talk. It is a very important thing to sit around your dinner table or your couch or your living room or wherever you are and talk. I don't even mean with electronics. I mean sit there and talk. I mean, look at me, right? I'm the father of the house, right? You know I got the gift of gab. You think I don't talk? Not just talking, but asking, learning, getting intrigued with one another. I changed because I didn't grow up that way. I wouldn't necessarily change my upbringing, but I probably wasn't raised, well, some of you were, but not like your average 41-year-old. I don't mean anything wrong. I don't mean anything by the way I act, but I do know that when I'm real and when I'm stern and when I speak the truth, at least from my point of view, people get pissed off. And see, while other people say they're mad, I need to be quiet, I don't work that way. It changed in me that if they tell me to be quiet, they don't like what I'm saying, that I'm going to keep on. Now, if I'm being obnoxious, that's different. If I'm being drunk, which I don't drink anymore, that would be different. But just to talk. I knew a guy I used to hang out with that while I'm talking like I'm talking right now, if I was in a room with, and I've been in a room, 20 people, 50 people, and I've talked and I've had the floor, trust me. Bet your ass I ran the show as far as talking. But that one guy who everybody was listening to me, and I was trying to say some important stuff, experiences, wisdom, trying to share it with the younger generation is what I was doing. One guy was like, "You're just too much, man. I can't handle you, man. I don't know if you're coming or going. I just, man, you're all over the place. One, tell me something I don't know. And two, you're not doing enough to listen. If everybody else can listen and you can't, then you are the problem. It's not me in that situation." Change is important. Change. Now, what can you do to change to make life better? To make your life better? Ask yourself those questions. What can I do to be a better person? Ask yourself this, folks. What can I do to change for myself to be better? It's not a competition. You guys want to put quotes all around, and we want to put quotes on Facebook. Here's one for you. I dare you. I challenge anybody watching. Put something I actually said up there. People, it's hard. It's hard for people. Change can, I say, be a good thing. Yes, it can. But if you change and you start doing forbidden stuff or stuff that's just not right, or once again, ill-fated or detrimental to somebody else or even your health, you got to reevaluate, right? You got to. Being a better person, it's hard for a lot of people to understand. If you've went one way your whole life and they know you this way and this way only, for me, I've made a name for myself. When I was younger, I was a hellion. I was a little bad. I wasn't worse than you make myself out to be, but I was bad. I rebelled. I punched stuff. I destroyed stuff. I went off and done drugs in excess. I was too young, right? So you want to quote something? I dare you to write this right here. I'll write it later. I don't care. I just want people to see it. I'm not better than anybody. The only person that I want to be better than was who I was this time last year. You dig? Because even though I talk kindness, I talk hashtag be inspired, be tough, be you. Hashtag motivate your mind, move your ass, right? I talk that. I live that. I try that. That is a creed. I really live the way I speak. But I am human. I fail daily. I make mistakes. Here lately, I've had some young ones on my mind, this younger generation. They're like 30-something. That's young to me. Early 30s, mid-30s, one of them. And I feel like, and if you're watching, y'all know who you are, and if you're not, then, but I feel like here lately, the change in me has to be something they must hear. And I'm trying my best to pour into this younger generation so maybe they can find what they're looking for, what they are, and they can change it and move it to somebody else. I know a friend of mine, he messed up at his job. Some things happened, and he didn't like it. He didn't like what happened. And everybody around at his job was telling it, you know, I'm not going, some machines messed up, and there's the whole story, and I'm not going to get into it. But everybody there is consoling him and telling him it's okay. Things happen. We mess up. This is all right. And he didn't listen. He wasn't listening to that. He didn't understand why what happened, but he knew that they didn't understand that it hurt him. He changed so much that he didn't want to mess up. He did changes in his life. And he was up here and at his job, and something happened, and it was almost his fault, but it wasn't his fault. He was there, and shouldn't have been there, and things led to another, and now he fell down again. I told him to pick himself up by his bootstraps and go. Now, he prayed on it, and he's content with it, and things are a little better. So, at the end of the day, when we look at ourselves, and you ask yourself questions, once again, ask yourself, is change worth it? Is it good? Is it worth the change for its weight in gold? Is it going to do me better? I'll almost bet you the answer to your question is going to be yes. Change. Work on your marriage. Work on your friendship. Work on your job skills. Learn a new job. Read a book. Do something. Make a change. Sounds cliche. It's like we do year after year after year after year. People hear it. People hear it. We don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to say nothing. Nobody. You got to make a change. It starts with you. That's a true thing. Now, sure, it's easy for me to say this and easy for me to get on here and talk. I'm just being transparent, and I've changed enough to want to help people. Help people where they're at. Let people know that you can change, and it is. If I can do it, we hear that, right? If I can do it, you can do it. Well, I mean that. Looking right into this camera, I mean that, because I did not care about things. And you may not care now. Maybe that's you right now. But I tell you what, change is good. Week after week after week, I end the show with those 3 words, and I can't think of what they are. Let me tell you something. Oh, yeah. First and foremost, change is good. That's the question. Is it good? Yes. But those 3 words I say week after week after week to take us out of here, you can tune in and I'll tell you about them. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Scott.
Presentations.